Usually this would be a little bit of a teaser for the up and coming episode. But the main thing I want to say to you all today is Merry Christmas if this is the only video you watch of mine this week. I hope you have a great time with your family, have some rest and relaxation before we get back to the grind of work. So Merry Christmas everyone, I hope you have a good one. What's up guys, and welcome to JNO United, bringing the best in football gaming. And today we're getting into FPL Today. But before we get into the episode, make sure to answer the first of a bunch of questions for this up and coming game week. What is your strategy for the Diego Costa suspension? And if you don't have him, laugh at us all in the comments down below. Also, if you didn't see, I have a new show called the FPL Show, which is a more stripped back, laid back version of FPL Today, where I just talk about FPL news without any fancy graphics, just me talking. So if you have any questions that you want me to try and answer in that show, leave that in the comments down below as well. So let's get on with the show, and first let's quickly go over how I did in the game week. I got 35 points, which was 12 below the average of 47. Potentially one of my worst game weeks whilst I've been in the top 100k. And that includes last year when I only got there around game week 25 onwards. That leaves me on a total of 933 points. Sees me not getting to the FPL Cup because I was ranked like 3 millionth in the whole week, and has dropped my overall rank to around 53,000, slightly above. So another question I have for you in FPL Today is, what do you think should be the specification to qualify for the Cup in FPL? Because game week 17, I did rubbish. But in the whole game, I'm in the top 2% of players, but somehow I'm not allowed in the FPL Cup. Do you think it should be done on the top 2 million players in the overall ranking, or for game week 17? Answer that in the comments down below as well. But enough about me, and you're going to notice a little bit of a change in FPL Today, because I've looked at my channel, I've looked at the show, and I've decided that it doesn't focus enough on helping you guys and your FPL rankings, because I believe you guys you would have searched for me to get advice. 30 Days of FPL was all about advice, so the show is now going to be changed in the layout to help you guys with my advice. And the first thing that's coming back is the FPL Hotlist, but slightly different. We're going to go over every position in the game, goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards, with my top 3 at the current time, with some honourable mentions, and then I'll focus in on one player. Starting with the goalkeepers, and coming in at number 1 is Courtois, with Lee Grant and Jordan Pickford coming in just behind. Honourable mentions go to Tom Heaton and Victor Valdez. Now, we're going to focus in on Courtois. I know he's a lot more expensive than the rest of them, and I know it's not usual for people to go for an expensive goalkeeper, but you just have to look at the stats and know you've got a reliable point scorer if you do decide to get a premium goalkeeper like Courtois. Coming in at 5.8 million, he's conceded 11 goals in 17 games, has got 10 clean sheets, which is 3 more than any other goalkeeper, and fair enough, his total saves are nowhere near as high as Tom Heaton's or Jordan Pickford's, but you are guaranteed clean sheets with this Chelsea side at the moment. Now, fair enough, I would suggest you go for a Chelsea defender who has potential to get points from bonus points, assists or goals, but if you want a reliable goalkeeper, there is no better right now than Courtois. And to be honest, if he keeps getting clean sheets, he's probably going to stay at the top of this ranking, so I'll have to focus in on the second or third player when I do my analysis. Moving on to defenders, and we're still focusing at number 1 with Chelsea, because right now they are the defensive powerhouses. I've picked Marcus Alonso, which I'll get into why in a second. My picks after that are 2 English players though, Kyle Walker from Tottenham and Ryan Bertrand from Southampton. Now, Ryan Bertrand has upped his stats as far as goal threat and assist potential, and Kyle Walker to me just has more of an overall threat as extra points go than Danny Rose, but either of those 2 would be great options. But we're going to focus in on the number 1s for FPL Today for game week 18, and we are looking at Marcus Alonso. Coming in at 6.4 million, none of the Chelsea defenders are that cheap. And I know a bunch of you are going to be saying you could go for David Luiz, you could go for Azpilicueta. I believe the only other option in that Chelsea defence right now as far as FPL points output is Azpilicueta. David Luiz, yes, he has a goal threat every now and again. Sometimes he can score some wonder goals. But as far as the potential and the consistency, Marcos Alonso and Azpilicueta are the threats. Azpilicueta did get an assist last game week. He hasn't got as many chances created as Marcos Alonso, but he does have bonus points on his side. He's a bonus points machine at the moment, whereas Marcos Alonso is more likely to get you assists and goals. And it's because of that explosive potential, because if he gets those goals and assists, he will then get bonus points. That is why I am picking Marcos Alonso as my Chelsea defender. Moving on to the midfielders, and we start with Alexis Sanchez at number 1, with Christian Eriksen at number 2, followed by Sadio Mane at number 3. Honourable mention goes to Gylfi Sigurdsson, who just misses out on the top 3. Sadio Mane has come through as the most reliable and consistent Liverpool midfield option since Coutinho was injured. Christian Eriksen at the moment has the most shots on goal over the last 4 to 6 game weeks and has a lot on target as well, even though he blanked last game week. And Alexis Sanchez is the highest scoring midfielder at the moment with the most goals and has been very consistent recently, if not explosive. Coming up to game week 18, he has 12 goals and 6 assists. That's 18 goals he's been involved with, which means he's got points on average for every game week. He also sits third for chances created. There are people with more shots on goal, but he has got one of the best conversion rates. And then finally we move on to the forwards, and we are looking at Zlatan Ibrahimovic as number 1, followed by Christian Benteke, and then Diego Costa still gets into third because I didn't feel like I could honestly say someone else as number 3. Honourable mentions do go to Harry Kane, who has all the goal threat in the world but just hasn't been converting, and Divock Origi, who has been very consistent but doesn't have the goal threat of some of the other strikers in this list. For me, Diego Costa has been the most consistent striker, chipping away at those points, always scoring for us, and it's a big disappointment that he won't be playing in that Bournemouth game at Stamford Bridge. Christian Benteke now has some easier fixtures now that they've gone through some harder opponents, and that Crystal Palace team is built to put the balls into the box for him, and you've got players like Zaha, Puncheon, all doing very well at the moment, so I believe Benteke will keep scoring goals. But top of the list is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who has come back into form along with Paul Pogba as Manchester United start to tick along. He's first for goals scored in the last 4 game weeks with 4 goals, 4th for total attempts and 4th for shots on target, but his goal conversion rate is very good for those shots on target. So looking forward to game week 18, and we can see that there are some tasty fixtures that could get us a lot of FPL points. We have Arsenal versus West Brom. West Brom, who are usually historically very good defensively, have not been that good defensively recently. And Alexis Sanchez is still playing in that forward role and could get some big points against West Brom. Burnley versus Middlesbrough has some very big points available for defenders and goalkeepers potentially. Burnley are very resilient at home, and Middlesbrough have just been resilient in total. So hopefully some clean sheet points will be there for one or the other side if we can pick out the right players. Chelsea versus Bournemouth, clean sheet points for Chelsea, surely. They've been that consistent. Are Bournemouth the type of side that could break them down? Potentially on their day, they are very good. But who's going to bet against that Chelsea defence? Again, the real disappointment is the fact that Diego Costa isn't playing. We've got Manchester United versus a very out of form Sunderland. So we've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Paul Pogba on our radars. They've both been very good over this December period. So potentially there are points for the Man United players there. Hull City are the whipping boys, and they've got Man City coming to their home. Can Man City get back on form before their fixture against Liverpool, where they need to pick up more points like they did against Arsenal? Right now, Man City players aren't really the trend at the moment, but if you have some still, they could be getting you some points in this game. And then we have Liverpool versus Stoke. Fair enough, Liverpool only won 1-0 against Everton, but that is a derby in Liverpool. You never know what's going to happen in that game. Lallana and Mane are where the points seem to be at the moment. Firmino needs to get some FPL points to stop the exodus of transfers out. Now, before we go on to Captain Choice, we have the Captain Ranking. Now, from my sources, these are the 3 players that are going to be the most popular choices for the captaincy in Game Week 18. And top of that list, with almost 50% in most polls, is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He is followed by Alexis Sanchez and then Eden Hazard, who has been on form but just hasn't been getting the goal threat and assist potential that he usually would be getting. But now with Diego Costa out, potentially Hazard could have more important role in getting the goals that win Chelsea that game. And I'm going to have to go with the crowd for this, because I think the best captaincy choice is Zlatan Ibrahimovic if you owe him. That's how consistent he's been, and with Paul Pogba behind him supplying him, right now he is the second best striker in the game behind Diego Costa, and Diego Costa is not available. My differential of the week, and I'm giving it to Michael Antonio purely because of West Ham's opposition. Coming up against Swansea, Swansea have conceded a lot of goals recently, so I believe West Ham, who have had some victories recently, hopefully will build on that. And Antonio has scored a lot of goals this season, he just needs the chances. If the ball is put into the box and he's running in from the right, he is likely to score. West Ham just need to realise that and start supplying him again. And my red herring for the week, and I really hope I'm wrong here, is Harry Kane. Now, I've transferred him out for this game week for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but despite the fact he's blanked a lot recently, while a lot of people have brought him in, so the focus has been on him and everyone's seen him blank, he has been getting a lot of chances. In the last 4 game weeks, he's had 16 chances on goal, the highest of any striker. He's had 10 from inside the box, the highest of any striker. And he's had 7 of those shots on target, again, the highest for any striker in the last 4 game weeks. That puts him at 22.1 minutes per chance, which again is the best for any striker. He just hasn't been putting it in the back of the net, but he's had more chances than anyone else, which could mean he explosively comes in game week 18, and I regret transferring him out. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new. Smash that thumbs up button. Let's aim for over 100 likes this episode. Make sure to check out all my social media, and you can support me on Patreon if you wish. There is also a new JNO T-shirt, which you can check out in the description down below. I've been JNO, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.